Hey guys, welcome back to this place. If you are new, welcome here for the very first time. I'm Carmen, and today we are watching season 1, episode 7 of Dark, which I'm so excited about. I absolutely love this show and trying to figure out what the hell is happening, and I'm sure being 1,000,000% wrong 99.9% of the time. I know I say that every single episode, but I'm really immersed in the mystery, and the actors are amazing. The writing is amazing. The cinematography is gorgeous. Some of the shots are, well, all of the shots really, but like some are just like so incredible. Yeah, I'm just loving it. So last time on Dark, we had Jonas crossing over into 1986, which I am so curious as to how that's going to turn out and like what that's going to mean, because Birdman, aka the Stranger, is sort of orchestrating all of this, or at least he's helping the parts move into the places that they need to move, right? Like he wrote in the red on Jonas's map. He gave Jonas the map. He has something to do with Michael because he said that he saved him. So yeah, like I'm not really sure what's going on there, but yeah. And then somehow Peter and Tronte know something as well, because they had 917 highlighted in that ledger, and that's when Jonas crossed over. So do they have something to do with Padre Noah? Like, and what does he have to do with this? Is he just the serial killer, or is he not? And he is just being labeled creepy, even though he's not creepy. Maybe he is. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Sorry, I don't want to ramble too much in the intro. So we also, unfortunately, had Ulrich finding the body of, well, they had already found Mad's body, but he didn't make the connection that it was him, because obviously how would he? It was 33 years later, and it wouldn't make sense in his brain for that to be his brother, because there was like no decay really, like not decay equivalent with 33 years of a dead body, you know? So, but unfortunately we have found him. We also have Regina and the tree thing, which I'm very curious, and I hope that at some point we find out exactly what happened with the Katerina and Ulrich bullying of her. We also had Magnus finding the used condom and wrapper and little angel necklace, which I'm not sure if I just missed that existing before, or if it's going to be something we're going to see in this episode or a later episode. I'm going to keep my eyes peeled. And last but not least, sorry, I'm trying to speed run this. I did look up what the title of the last episode meant. Sic mundus creatus est. Probably saying that horrifically. I'm sorry. And it means like thus the world was created, or something similar to that. So that's really interesting, because that's the door through which Jonas went, and then was in 1986. So, yeah. Can't wait to see what it all means. I'm going to stop rambling so we can go ahead and watch it and start to figure it out, though. What the fuck happened to this poor child? I don't like this creepy music. Sorry, I'm yelling. They had me on edge.
Ich erinnere mich.
Wait.
Ich erinnere mich an alles.
Wait. Was that Helgi? Was that child Helgi?
Ines Kahnwalds Sohn?
Die Krankenschwester? Die hat keine Kinder.
Go to the
Weißt du, wo ich
hospital.
Ines finden kann?
Yes.
Im
At the hospital.
Krankenhaus vielleicht.
Yes. Okay. So excited.
Also, wir sehen uns.
Regina, du scheiß Brillenschlange.
right, let's not be mean to Regina.
Kann ich dir helfen? Müsstest du um diese Zeit nicht in der Schule sein?
He's going to the hospital.
Ich bin krankgeschrieben.
Du siehst in meinen Augen aber ganz fit aus.
You can't tell
Ich
if
hab was mit
someone's
dem
sick or
Arm.
not.
Ich bin gerade auf dem Weg zum Krankenhaus.
Steig ein. Ich fahr dich.
Is he suspicious of him because he doesn't recognize him? Because, you know, he's from 2019, perhaps?
Was ist denn das da?
Oh, it's a headphone, but you wouldn't
Kopfhörer.
know it yet.
Das sind doch keine Kopfhörer.
They are. They from the
Steckt man
future.
sich so in die Ohren.
Dinge gibt's.
Where are you going? That's not the way to the hospital.
Das ist eine Abkürzung.
Even I know that that's not the way to the hospital. Okay. So he just took the shortcut. Alright. Good. I didn't know. I thought he was being real sus of Jonas, you know. Oh my gosh. Okay. I want to see him and Mikkel have a fucking conversation, please.
Ich kann das ändern. Ich kann die Vergangenheit ändern und die Zukunft.
I mean, I know that you can, but
Wie wenig wir doch von der Welt verstehen.
Birdman? What the fuck are you doing here?
Ist das hier echt?
Yeah,
Oder bin ich verrückt, genauso wie mein Vater?
your dad wasn't crazy.
Existieren sie überhaupt? Oder sind sie sowas wie eine Wahnvorstellung von den Bekloppten?
He's
Du bist
real.
genauso wenig verrückt, wie sein Vater war. Manchmal fällt es uns schwer, Dinge zu begreifen, die gegen alles sprechen, wozu unser Verstand konditioniert wurde. Wie müssen die Menschen sich gefühlt haben, als man ihnen zum ersten Mal sagte, die Erde sei eine Kugel?
Doch, du bist total verrückt.
Und wenn es nicht ist?
Wie soll das gehen? Irgendwo in der Höhle ist ein Riss in der Zeit oder was? Und Mikkel hängt hier rum und wird irgendwann zu meinem Vater?
Auch wenn du es jetzt nicht glauben willst, das da ist dein Vater.
Yeah. That's. Yeah.
Das bedeutet,
Marta is your aunt.
dass Ulrich mein Großvater ist und
Martha, deine Tante.
das ist doch Schwachsinn.
I mean, I know
Mikkel
why
jetzt
you're
wieder zurück und
upset
bringt
about
alles
that.
wieder in Ordnung.
Hast du noch nicht verstanden? Wenn du Mikkel jetzt zurückbringst, dann greifst du in den Lauf der Dinge ein. Dein Vater lernt deine Mutter nicht kennen. Sie verlieben sich nicht. Sie heiraten nicht. Und du
You won't accept.
wirst nicht geboren.
Okay, but why do you care?
Bringst du ihn jetzt zurück, dann löschst du deine eigene Existenz aus. Deine Rolle in all dem hier ist viel größer, als du denkst.
Okay. What the fuck is his role?
Aber jede Entscheidung für etwas
Every decision
ist
for
auch immer eine
something
Entscheidung gegen etwas.
is a decision against something.
Ein Leben für ein Leben. Wofür wirst du dich entscheiden?
Okay, but then why the fuck did you show him how to go back? If you're not gonna allow him to, like, affect it at all.
Was weißt du?
Hannah und du.
This is why you should have been fucking honest the first time she asked you, bro.
Hat sie dir das gesagt?
Ist das jetzt wichtig?
Katharina.
Irgendwie habe ich es die ganze Zeit gewusst.
Probably. You just wanna-
Nur nicht sehen wollen.
Ich kann das erklären.
You could have explained the other day when she fucking asked.
Eine Woche bevor Max
Okay.
Ich habe das damals nicht der Polizei erzählt.
Okay.
Ich habe mich gar
Cool,
nicht
cool.
erinnert.
Give me information. I love trying
Da
to
habe
put
ich
shit
etwas
together.
beobachtet.
What'd you see?
Vor
What
dem
did you
Haus
see, man?
gegenüber hat sich ein Pfarrer mit einem Mann gestritten, ich weiß nicht über was.
Who?
Aber ich fand das eigenartig, dass sich ein Pfarrer so streitet.
Noah.
Und heute früh
Noah.
habe ich denselben Mann gesehen.
Padre Noah?
Wen jetzt, den Pfarrer?
Nein, nicht den Pfarrer. Den anderen. Es war derselbe Mann.
Who's the other man?
Ich weiß das, weil er etwas am Ohr hatte. Das war vernarbt oder entstellt.
Helgi?
Aber er war nicht einen Tag älter. Er sah genauso aus wie vor 33 Jahren.
It's gotta be Helgi.
Ich weiß, das klingt verrückt.
Helgi?
Aber es war derselbe Mann.
It's Helgi. So, did he travel to 2019?
Wusstest du, dass dein Vater 86 bei der Polizei vorgeladen war?
Nein, warum fragst du das?
Die Hütte am Waldweg. Warum hat Helge die überhaupt behalten nach
allem, was ihm da passiert ist? Hat er die überhaupt genutzt? Die mal vermietet?
Wieso fragst du das?
Because it's fucking important.
War das schon 86?
Ich weiß nicht, warum du das wissen willst.
Why are you questioning?
In der Hütte gewohnt?
Ich weiß nicht.
Peter, you sus as fuck. Oh, is he going back? If the lights start doing the fucking light thing again, then we're gonna know for sure that that's what it is. It's when people cross. He's coming back. It was the blue room. Oh, fuck. Oh, he's burning it? I mean, Ainz has a copy too. So he's not gonna tell. Is he doing it, or is like the priest doing it? Is that the priest? Can you move? I know that they do dates backwards, so November 5th. November 9th. Not backwards. It's backwards to me and my American way of thinking. But, okay. Okay, so this episode, so good. So good. I am so in love with this show and trying to figure everything out. I'm so excited that Ulrich actually did figure, like, most things out with a lot less information than we have. Like, I think that that's really cool and exciting. I really hope that he will also find out that Mikkel is actually currently, although not currently, in 1986, growing up, becoming an adult, getting married, falling in love, like having a kid, like he does all of that stuff that you would want him to do. Of course, he also makes a choice later to do something that you probably would not want for your, I mean, I assume you would definitely not want for your child. His motivation for doing it, I'm still unsure about. I do think it's really interesting that the stranger / Bergman has decided, or he seemed so upset at the idea of Jonas talking to Mikkel, bringing Mikkel home, changing the fate, as it were. Now, the question I have is, why bring Jonas back? Why show him 1986? Why give him a chance to talk to his dad, talk to Mikkel, to change things, but then not? Right? Like, what was the point? I guess maybe just so he could see it with his own eyes, because Birdman did also say that he has a destiny or a fate, or he's a bigger part of it. What did he say exactly? That he's a bigger part of it than he realizes or something? I would want a more detailed conversation than that, right? Like, I would, maybe it's just me, but if it gives my parent the chance to actually live out like an entire life, I would need to know that whatever my part in it was, that was bigger, was worth knowing that at some point I'm sacrificing my parent, this person that I love, right? Like, he says, you know, if you meddle in the course of events, obviously if Mikkel goes back to 2019, then you never exist. But what are the ramifications of my lack of existence? Because I won't know that I don't exist if I do that, right? Like, I would need to know that the ramifications of my lack of existence would matter in the grand scheme of things, if that makes sense. Because otherwise, I know that I'm causing this person that I love pain and suffering for my own ends. Right? Now, maybe, like, Jonas is just like, my father loves me. He wouldn't want me to not exist. I don't know. Is what I'm saying making sense? Because I think, like, there is a difference in dying and never existing in the first place. So if he changes the course of events, the only thing that would happen would be that he would, like, poof out of existence. But he wouldn't have the sentience or the consciousness to realize that he once existed and now does not exist. Yeah. What are the ramifications of that? I don't know. Hopefully what I'm saying is making sense to you guys. It's not that I would not want to exist, but I also wouldn't fully be aware that I wasn't existing. So I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, I would want to have a more detailed conversation with Birdman / the stranger and be like, what does my existence matter in the grand scheme of things? Like, is my existence central? Is it so important to the survival of humanity, to X, Y, and Z? Like, am I going to stop a serial killer? Am I going to do this thing or that thing, you know? Like, I would need to know a little bit more detail, right? I don't know. Again, maybe that's just me, and maybe I'm just looking at it differently. I also am just really curious what Jonas's place in all of this is, and why Birdman. This is the first time. Obviously, he's sort of been orchestrating these events that we've seen happen so far, but this is the first time that we've seen him seem, sorry, why is that hard to say? Super invested in the outcome. Right? Like, he said what he said, but there was passion. He physically stopped him from walking out behind that van. And he said, you have to think about this. He said, like, you're important. He said something that I think is really interesting. Every decision for something is a decision against something else, which is just a great quote because it's very true, even if we don't often think about it in those exact terms, right? Like, even something as simple as, like, I'm choosing to have chicken for dinner tonight. That's a decision against having steak or pizza or, you know, X, Y, and Z, whatever else. So, yeah. Sorry, I'm like buffering while I'm trying to think. I'm very interested in everything that's happening. Now, we've seen, this is jumping ahead, but we've seen the back tattoo before. I can't remember if it was on the Stranger / Birdman or if it was just in a sequence that also included him, or if they're part of, like, him along with Padre Noah are part of some sort of, excuse me, I keep burping today, timekeepers sort of situation. Like, are they, I don't know. Are they from the future? Are they from some sort of specific sect of something, and the Stranger / Birdman is chasing Padre Noah? I don't know. Like, I'm thinking of like in Doctor Who, you know how Captain Jack Harkness is from, like, some sort of time agency, and also, like, the TVA and Loki. So, like, I'm wondering if there's some sort of time agents and they're trying to, like, make sure the course of events happens in a certain way because that's the way it's supposed to happen, or if that's completely off base. And, like, maybe the Stranger / Birdman is, like, maybe Padre Noah is rogue and Birdman is trying to, like, find him, but he has to make sure events happen in a certain way. I don't know. Maybe that's completely crazy. We'll see. I do think it's also really interesting that apparently, like, 1986 Helg is walking around in 2019 because Ulrich's mom, what's her name? I wrote it down. I have the little family tree in the back of the book. Yana, I think her name is. So she was talking about seeing him talking to Padre Noah, or arguing with Padre Noah, and she saw them again in, like, 1986, 2019. So what is 1986 Helgi? Sorry, I apologize. Doing in 2019. And how did he get involved? And what is the accident that Peter was talking about? Like, he said his father was in an accident in 1987. Right? So what was the accident? Because we know that this was already there since he was a child in the Blue Room, which is presumably how he knows Padre Noah. And then for some reason he was not killed by him, but recruited to work for him somehow. And also, does the Blue Room exist only in 1986 and Padre Noah is, like, taking kids from all over, like, different timelines and putting them in 1986? Because it's on the property. Okay, so no, the accident was November 12th, 1986. And Peter says that he came to Winden in 1987. So, and we saw that Padre Noah was writing on the wall, and he wrote, I think, November 5th and November 9th, right? He wrote 1953. Is that when he took people from? November 5th and November 9th, 1953? 1953 is also 33 years before 1986. So is he just killing in this 33-year cycle? On November 5th, November 9th, and maybe November 12th? Does he have 3 kills every 33 years? And if so, why? Like, what is the purpose? Also, I know that this is a tangent. The color yellow seems to be reoccurring in the show a lot. Like, there's the yellow doors for the school. There's yellow leaves. It's fall. There's Jonas's yellow rain jacket. There was that little yellow piece. There's the yellow barrels. There's the yellow coating from the barrels. So I don't know if what that's supposed to signify, but it's just interesting that there's a lot of yellow. And then there's the blue room. Yeah. Again, I don't know if that means anything. I'm just trying to write everything down so I understand. All right. So I also think it's interesting. It's November 9th, 1986, when Jonas asks what the day is. And then the date that was written on the wall, presumably on November 9th, 1986, was November 9th, 1953, which again is just my assumption is that that's the year the victims came from. So 2 down, 1 to go, possibly on November 12th, which is the same day as the accident, which is interesting. Also, we got confirmation, which I sort of thought that the flickering is people going through time, which does make me want to scrub back again. I apologize to my editor for constantly doing this. I'm just going to look at the last episode for a second. I just think that it's interesting that I feel like it's full confirmation that there's some sort of power surge when the crossing over happens, and the itinerary, or not itinerary, I mean, I guess kind of itinerary, but the thing that they have that has the information so they know when someone is crossing over. They know that it's going to happen before it happens. Now, it is really interesting that in the index thing, there is a question mark next to November 5th, 2308, whereas the others are X's. So I wonder if that's possibly Birdman and they just, or they don't know who it is at least. So that's interesting. I also want to know who Eye Patch is, because we've seen Eye Patch a few times now and they do sort of seem to ignore him and not really take any stock in what he says and kind of just dismiss him outright every time he talks. So I'm curious if that's going to come back, if that's going to be a thing, and how it's going to be a thing if it is, and who he is and his part in the story, right? So it's also interesting that Helgi never showed up to the police station, and also that the police just didn't reschedule or care. Oh, I get it. Okay, hold on. I'm dumb, but I put it together. So he was supposed to show up Tuesday at 10:30, right? Now, Tuesday would have been the 12th, correct? And he had an accident on the 12th. Do we think that his accident was intentional so that he would not have to be questioned by the police, because he obviously knew something? Now either he got himself into an accident and made himself unavailable for questioning, or Padre Noah did something to him that caused him to be unavailable for questioning. Okay. I see. It makes sense now. It makes sense now that we know. Sorry it took me so long to put it together. Also, like, what was that door with singe marks that Charlotte saw? I also think it's interesting because looking back on the previous episode, it looked like she was at the same exact place when the lights were flickering as she was when she, like, turned. It looks very similar, but I'm not sure if it's the same place or not. Anyway, I don't know if that's relevant at all. Also, I'm curious as to, like, the extent of Helge. I'm curious as to the extent of Helge's knowledge of everything that's happening, because he has the book, Journey Through Time. He has the we know why he has the necklace, Padre Noah. But he also said, I can change the past and the future. Like, I remember everything. So, I wonder if, like, the extent of his knowledge of traversing time, the extent of his knowledge of how it's done, and the ramifications of changing it, and if you're able to change it. Presumably you are, based off of Birdman / The Stranger's reaction to the possibility of Jonas changing it. But I'm curious as to Helge's, like, his full involvement, and, like, if he knows about Mikkel and, like, what he knows and all of that, right? Also, again, like, I'm really curious as to what's going to happen with Ulrich, because now he's following Helge, and is he going to go to 1986? Is he going to go to 1953? Is he going to go 20 or 33 years into the future? Like, I don't know. Where is Ulrich going to end up? Who knows? Also, I'm still really curious as to what happened to Katerina's face, because we saw that at the end of the episode where Hannah accused Ulrich, and as far as we know, that was a lie, based off what we saw in the scene, based off what Katerina is saying, based off everything. So if I'm assuming that Ulrich did not, at some point that we have not seen, punch her in the face, does she have, like, a bad home life? Was it just, like, was she being bullied? Are her parents shitty? What caused that to happen? I want to know. I also really liked Ulrich and Katerina's conversation, because I think that it just felt really real and emotional and vulnerable for both of them in that moment to sort of have that conversation. Do I wish Ulrich had told her the truth when she fucking asked him? Yes, you guys know I do. But I don't know. I'm curious to see where their relationship might go. Of course, maybe he's gonna go into the future in 1986, so then we won't ever see him again. I don't know. It's kind of sad, because if Birdman / The Stranger knew everything that was gonna happen with Mikkel, couldn't he have, and he knows how to navigate the time, could he not have just not done it? But then again, I guess that he could have just shown him how to come back. But again, I guess that because Jonas is important in whatever is happening, he has to be born. Yeah, I think that that's all that I have to say. I am so interested and so curious as to where we're going with this and what is going to happen next. If you guys are also curious, you can watch the next episode right now over on Patreon if you're watching this on YouTube, as well as my entire full-length reaction to this episode and every single episode thus far of Dark. That is over on Patreon as well. I cannot wait for the next episode. I cannot wait. I want to try to piece things together so badly, you guys. I want to be right. I want to figure it out. Anyway, until next time. Bye, guys. Hope to see you there.